Hello, welcome to today's special video. Now, special, that's relative, right? Now, this is actually a video response to a video that IDICBeer 40k's put out just I think this last week about resin. Now, he posed his feelings and thoughts about resin and asked a question, and I think even in the title of the video, do we really need any more? His point was that, if you look at the amazing detail you can get on some of these plastic miniatures now, especially the small ones, the clamshell packs for the special characters with in 40k, do you really need resin? It used to be you got the cool details and the fancy models in like fine cast or Forge World. So I thought, instead of commenting below in his video, because I think mine is a little bit longer of an answer than would fit clearly in a comments section, I thought I'd kind of explain where I come from as far as resin. Do we need resin? I'm saying yes, but not for the reasons we used to. So, for example, now usually, it used to be in the day, resin gave you ability to come up with some amazingly crisp details that were extremely difficult to put into some of the plastic injection molded models. Now, in all honesty, resin has always been a difficult material to work with, because it is more brittle, and you have to understand how to use warping. You have to use super glue or some other type of adhesive. You can't use your typical model cements, which personally I do like, because I prefer the weld as opposed to a CA bond. So at the end of the day, it made a lot of sense to handle these special high detail models with a resin, or some of these detail packets, what do you call them, upgrade kits with resin. It made a lot of sense. So I think that's why people started associating resin with those things. But there's actually another aspect to the resin model that I think we lose sight of because it's so relatively fragile. You can't make this normal, a kit with small parts in, to glue together like you can, some of these, like a Land Raider. You don't have the separate side shields or walls and the different parts of the hull. You get large castings because they're more durable that way. And they're also heavier. But I think that's actually one place where resin still fills the bill here, because if you look at the price of models just in general across the board, I don't mean just in 40k, I mean in the model world too, the more highly detailed large models run you quite a sum. Now, probably not to the level of Forge World prices, but there's always an element of supply and demand, and 40k miniatures are a niche market. Okay, you put a World War II vehicle, and there's going to be a global acceptance. There's going to be people who are going to clamor for it. You put out even a very standard Forge World or 40k model, and a small part of the world is going to want it. Granted, they might be global, but they're all very specialist nerds, including me. So, there's going to be a price difference simply based on supply and demand. But the one thing that if you probably were to work the economics out, it probably would be comparable. But the one thing that I appreciate most about these larger resin models is that it does not require hours upon hours of assembly. Now, don't get me wrong, I have put together in my lifetime quite a few extremely detailed and engineered kits with hundreds of parts, literally hundreds of parts to glue together and put in place. Some movable, some not, so you had to glue or not glue as appropriate. And I thoroughly enjoy doing that. But there are times when I just want to get a model and use it, and to put hours upon hours into that, especially if it's a part of a unit. Like if I've got, for example, let's use a Tau hammerhead. Okay, I want a unit of 3. I'll just use it as an example. 3 hammerheads. That's 3 kits. If I had to go through the detail levels that on some of the other kits, that would be you know, several days worth of work per model at one of these engineered levels, right? With the super detail and separate parts for all the details, whatever. That's 3 models, you know, could be a week and a half, 2 weeks to get together, and then I have to paint it. Well, here with the resin, you get this chunk of a body. I mean, look at when I did my Malcador, there was 2 sides, a top and a bottom. Boom, put it together. You've got a piece that goes on top to hold the turret in place, and you've got 2 sponsons on the inside. I mean, that's it. Very few parts, tremendously crisp detail, and so it only took a couple hours to put the thing together. So instead of spending, you know, several days building it or weeks building it, it took me just a couple days. And I think that's where the resin gives you the advantage. You don't have to put a lot of time into the building of it in general, and you can actually get these specialized models that are very, very, very low in demand. That, you know, who wants a Malcador? I mean, I know in the 30K there's a resurgence because Malcador is usable there, but really I'm the first one in our area that I've seen with a Malcador. And I only like it because it looked cool to me. That's the only reason. So I think there's still a purpose for resin. And I hope they don't go away. Look at the new Tiger Shark they put out. It doesn't look a lot different than the original. It is sleeker, has some finer details, but it's a whole lot easier to put together as a resin model than it is to put together as a plastic model, because you don't have the myriad of parts. And so I kind of like what they've done. I don't know if I'm going to get one of those new Tiger Sharks. I've got one. I'd like to have a matched set if I do go in with 2. In the Taros campaign, the story, they sent in 2 Tiger Sharks to go after their Titans. So I don't really want any more than 2, and I don't even know if I'll ever get a second one. So that's really, you know, where I sit on it. I think there still is a place for resin. It just depends on what you're looking for. All right. One thing I'm hoping that they'll keep in resin for a little bit will be, and I guess it'd be nice if it went to plastic, but is the Citadel Tomb World or Tomb World Citadel that Forge World has, because that's one of the models I'm going to kick off my Necron build next year with. So resin's good as long as it saves you time and gets exquisite results as far as detail goes. All right, so that's the result. I hope that kind of explained where I'm coming from on why I think resin still has a place. So catch you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. If you haven't already, please share, like, subscribe, and see you later. Bye-bye.